Welcome to Wednesday Night Live from the Basement. Here's your hosts, Rob, Daryl, and Joe.
Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday. I'm Rob. There's Daryl, joined tonight by Tim from Ottawa, who we've had the pleasure of having on many times before, and Brian from Embryonic Robot. How you gentlemen doing this evening?
Great.
Good, yeah.
Good. Everybody good?
Yep.
Good. Right off the top, I'll just quickly address the elephant in the room. Joe has decided to move on and do other things on YouTube, which, more power to him. That's, Daryl and I'll miss him. We've enjoyed the show over the last couple of years, but, I get the need to move on and want to do other things. So we wish him the best. And in his place, Tim is going to be our new regular co-host. So you'll see Tim and Daryl and I every week, and then our regular roster of guest appearances. So thanks, Tim. We're excited to have you on board, man.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot for sure. It's good. It's good fun. So how can you not, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm excited because you've got a pretty interesting perspective, having met so many of these people, and you've got some great stories and whatever.
Yeah, I'm always in the live chat like, and I have a story about that record. I have a story about that record. But
exactly.
I just yeah.
Exactly. So, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. Like any band, right? Lineups change. As I said to these guys off camera, it's kind of like Fleetwood Mac. I've been on this Wednesday thing since the beginning, when it was Glenn Calloway and myself and Sam over on Glenn's channel, like 3.5 years ago, something like that. And, we've had lineup changes, and that's fine. It'll be fun. We'll keep talking about records and keep talking about music, and that's what it is. So, who we got joining us here? Oh, look, there we go. Jason Arsenault, some good-looking dudes up there.
Great. You said great.
About the three of them, not me. So. Yes, favorite songs is what we're talking about tonight, and they do seem to change often. I don't know about you guys, but I almost had trouble with this because there are so many songs that, how do you narrow it down?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be fun. It wasn't hard to pull records. It's just like, how do you narrow it down? Trevor, welcome, sir. Good evening. How you doing out there in the West Coast? Probably a less snowy and freezing rainy than we are. So
True.
Anything exciting news-wise to talk about? Anybody see U2 drop the new EP today? Does anybody care? I care, but
About what?
U2 dropped the new EP today.
I didn't know. Didn't even know.
Totally missed it.
Yeah, so digital only for now. It's called Days of Ash. For various reasons, I guess it's Ash Wednesday. I guess.
Is it in my iTunes?
I don't know where you get it. I watched there's 6 songs, all brand new. I watched the 6 lyric videos on YouTube today, and it's kind of their response to some of the sort of tumultuous issues, I guess. Some of the issues going on in the U.S. And I think it's a very good EP. To me, it had sort of almost kind of Achtung Baby kind of vibes. I sort of felt. So I hope they do a physical release at some point in time. But it was I don't even know if it was download. I think you could just stream it today. I don't know where to actually download it from, but and the other big news is this is the precursor to a full-length album that's supposed to come out at the end of the year. So it's been like 7 years since the last U2 record. So
Has it been that long?
Yeah. Well, songs of don't count Songs of Surrender, which was the COVID reimagining of. I don't really count that as an album. So you go back to Songs of Experience, which I want to say was like 2018, something like that.
Which is the one with is it Bono's son or daughter, or the two of them are on the front?
That's Songs of Experience. So that was the last
I didn't mind that one. I know that got crapped on, but I didn't mind it.
Hey, Record Hunt, how you doing? I didn't like that one, but I like the one that came before that, which is the one that is Larry Mullen Jr. and his kid, and that was Songs of Innocence.
Okay.
That one I love. I didn't like Songs of Experience so much. I'm not really sure why, but
Yeah.
Richard, how you doing, man? We're just talking about Richard and I were talking about this over text earlier. He sent me a message. Did you hear about U2? And I said, yeah. Sam had tipped me off earlier in the day because I hadn't heard about it. So I know Richard,
listen to it tonight before bed.
Yeah, so it's 6 songs. One of them is kind of spoken word. The first song, and I can't remember what's it called. Hold on a minute. It's called American Obituary is the first song. Man, it's a rocker. I loved it.
Richard, just so you're aware, I don't know if you heard about this. I had read the other day that Danny Carey from Tool came out and said that they're possibly going into the studio to release their next album for 2027. So hopefully it won't take 13 more years to get that done.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's a bit of a wait, eh? Good Lord. Are you two going to try and cheat SoundScan again, referencing giving everyone a free album? Who knows? You know what? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a U2 fan. I was not upset about getting that for free, but it's like people bitched and moaned that they got something for free. And if you don't want it, just delete it. Like if I'd opened up I don't use iTunes, but if I'd opened it up and there was a Drake album, which I don't give a shit about, I think I'd just go, and then delete it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm probably biased because I like U2 and go, what's the big deal? I don't know. But you're right. It did sort of artificially inflate their album numbers, I suppose. So we'll see. I'm curious to see what Richard says once he's listened to it. So I'm sure, Richard, you'll text me at some point because I really dug it. I was talking to one of my other YouTube buddies today, and he was very impressed with it. So we'll see what happens. Anybody buy any records recently?
I did.
Yeah.
I got some killers here. I bought 2 of them while I was out at that hockey tournament. Okay, so just for context, Kohl's was selling records for 50% off, so they had a 50% off sale.
That's
and I saw this record, and this record, the first one I'm going to show, my son loved this movie. So this is kind of like me and my son bonding. And once I show it, you guys are going to go, wait a minute. There is no way you have this in your collection now, but yes, K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack.
Oh my God.
I bought that. And my son actually did a dance the other day. I videotaped it. It was pretty funny. But the other one I got, and this was, I paid like $20 or $25 for this, is Alanis Morissette's Infatuation Junkie. That's the one with Thank You on it. So
yeah,
I think that's pretty cool that I got.
So what's the difference between that one and the original, or is there?
Is that like a special issue or anything?
Yeah, hold on.
No, it's on clear vinyl, crystal clear vinyl, and
Tim's gonna go get one, and he's probably got it signed. I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything too special about it, but yeah. No, those were the 2 that I got recently.
That's the original.
Yeah.
So they've cropped out. So you have the full. If you look at yours, this is. They just cropped out the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's her whole face. Yeah.
So this is the original. So I was just curious if that was like a special repress or something.
Well, I actually don't keep hype stickers or anything, so I'm not sure.
It's a good record though.
Yeah. But I thought that would be a fun way to start off, is to show my K-pop Demon Hunters. There you go.
What's the deal with that? Is it like, I've heard it, and my wife works at the school that my son goes to, and she works with the kindergarten kids, and that's all they talk about. Like some movie or what's? I'm stupid.
Yeah,
so.
it's a movie that's kind of like it's in English, but it's also in Korean, and it's like I don't know how to explain it. Lots of dance music, K-pop dance stuff that's in there, and the kids just like dancing to it. It's non-violent, right? It's kind of like it's like a how do I explain it? It's like it would be kind of like the Spice Girls and the Backstreet Boys, and they're two different groups that are like fighting over like fame in the movie or whatever it is. I guess that's how I could explain it. But yeah, it's a K-pop male band and a K-pop female band, and they're kind of like battling it out in the movie.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right in your wheelhouse, hey Brian?
It's encouraging me to buy it. Actually, Cecilia's seen it. I have never seen it, so
I think the funniest thing that is on this though is there is a song on side 2 called Path by the Jokers. And I'm not joking. It's almost like you step back into a 1960s, late 50s time warp, and it's like Korean Everly Brothers kind of stuff. It's the weirdest. It's like a one-off song that's on there, and it's like stepping back into a 60s time warp. It is the weirdest thing ever.
That's crazy.
My son hates it, and it's one of the only songs on it I like.
Who knows? Who knows? Jason's asking us an interesting question. Question for later on the panel. Well, we'll answer it now. Why not? What's the most ideal venue in which to see your most favorite song? A small, intimate setting or a big stadium?
Oh, no brainer. Small.
Yeah.
Probably a small setting, but my favorite song of all time, I'm not showing tonight because I can only get it on CD because it's never been released on vinyl. Yeah.
Should we ask what's your favorite song of all time?
It's a song by Martin Page called "Put on Your Red Dress."
Oh yeah.
Actually, just a really slow song. He's from England, but I was only ever able to get it on CD, and it's on Discogs. It's not on vinyl or anything. So it's I think it was released in '97. He's the guy that did that song "In the House of Stone and Light." I don't know if you ever heard that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole album is really good.
What about you, Brian? Where would you want to hear your most favorite song?
well, I don't know if I have a most favorite song, but I think it would depend on the song you're hearing. If it's a real rocker, you probably want the crowd with you.
Right.
Big stadium. But if it's a quieter, introspective song, maybe a small venue would work.
That makes sense. I'm good with that.
All right.
I don't know that I have an answer. I think I'm going to go with Brian's answer. I'm going to take the lazy man route, but that makes sense because I look at some of mine, and some of mine are like big anthems, and some are sort of more intimate songs. And I even got some oldies here, like we're talking like 50s and 60s oldies. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows? So Daryl got some good records on 50% off, so that's a good deal. You guys buy anything else recently?
I got a damaged one in the mail like a couple of weeks ago.
Was it not packaged properly?
And I want to ask to replace it, but I'm probably not because it's just so. I ordered from Fogarty's website you know how he's re-recorded all his stuff. So they had signed ones, okay?
Oh, I've been thinking about that.
But well, it's in a. But if you look at it, it's water damage to hell because it came the day of the storm and they left it at the door all day, and I opened a soggy box.
Right.
So, like the inner, it's all. I don't know if you can see it, but it's all wrinkled and But it's all right. But it's nice. It's a cool little, pretty. Yeah. That's cool, eh?
That is cool. It's like
water damage to hell.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I thought about buying that, but so 2 questions. Is it signed on the actual album cover or is it a signed insert?
It is. It's on the album.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because I hate when you pre-order something, turns out it's a signed insert. And I'm like, that's neat and all, but I prefer it on the cover. Was it? You don't have to tell me how much, but was it terribly expensive or?
With the import and that, it was like $100 with the import charges and the shipping and
That's not terrible.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got Curtis joining us. How you doing, my friend? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking favorite songs tonight. So, how do the re-recordings on that
They're
sound?
great. They're awesome.
Do
Yeah,
they
they're
sound
great. They're
similar
great.
to CCR or?
Oh, very similar. You can,
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell the difference, but if you're not paying attention, you probably can't tell the difference. Like it's very, like I think he tried to
right.
emulate the old stuff.
Interesting. I thought about buying that, and he also did that album like a year or two ago, and it was called Fogerty's Factory instead of Cosmo's Factory. And it was his family, and the cover looked like Cosmo.
Okay.
I thought about buying that too, but I'm like, you know. But that one I would buy just for the autograph, I think.
Yeah.
So I might have to ponder that. Ryan's saying I got a signed Dolly record at a thrift store. No way. Crazy.
How do you know it's authentic?
You know what's crazy? I mean, I don't collect books or anything, but I go to there's a Value Village down the street from me, from my work, and I walk there in the summertime whenever it's nice out, and there's signed autobiographies in there all the time. I got a Paul Anka.
Really?
Yeah, I got a couple, not very many. I didn't buy it, but I found a Kim Campbell.
Wow.
Kim Campbell signed up. Yeah, but I mean, just the most random stuff.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Brian, welcome from Tokyo. How you doing, my friend? Kim Campbell, for those that don't know, was a Prime Minister of Canada for like a week and a half, and she didn't actually win election. The way our system works, she's just the leader of the party that was in power, and the actual Prime Minister resigned, and she won the leadership convention. So by default, was the Prime Minister. And I think arguably the most forgotten president Prime Minister in Canadian history. So, yeah.
Other than maybe Charles Tupper, that guy's kind of like
fair. Yeah, absolutely fair. So, you mentioned the Value Village. I've been thinking of going to it. We have one of those, 2 minutes away from where I live, and I drive by it sometimes. I wonder if there's any records in there. I wonder if there's any decent, used stereo equipment, but then I never bother going in. And maybe I should.
The records are kind of junk. It's just your,
it's all the same.
Engelbert Humperdinck's and Anne Murray's and
right.
Weird.
Hey, don't diss Anne Murray.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not dissing. I'm just saying it's like, or like Nana Muscuri and all that. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that one there. There's a lot of that in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go and get Daryl some good ABBA.
Yeah, there you go. You do see it.
Hey,
everybody needs some ABBA.
Not true.
Oh, I'll get some for Brian too. I know he's a big fan. Should we jump in? I mean, it's 20 after. We could jump into the topic, which is favorite songs. So interpret that how you will. It could be your favorite of all time. It could be your favorite this morning. It could be your favorite songs by your favorite, whatever, however no rules here, however you want to interpret it. The world is your oyster. Brian is our guest. So as always, the guest goes first. Knock us away, Brian.
I said earlier, there's laundry going on. Every time I come down here, someone does laundry. So if you hear like a laundry noise,
mine's going too.
So it's irritating. So
if you hear anything on my end, my son's playing with a lightsaber just outside my office door.
A real one?
No, thankfully not. But it does make a lot of noise. So.
Yeah, hopefully that'll end soon. This was an interesting topic for me, but also a bit challenging because I'm surprised, Daryl, you have a favorite song. I don't have a list of favorite songs, so I chose songs that I really like. So with that, favorites, I guess. So I'll start with a really kind of esoteric one from maybe the best band from Cleveland, which I think is Pere Ubu. This is their EP, Data Panic in the Year Zero from 1978. And on this record, well, there's 5 tracks, but the track I'm going to talk about is called 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. So there was a Cold War film called Panic in Year Zero, so they changed it to Data Panic in Year Zero. And 30 Seconds After Tokyo is actually the name of a book, which is a first-person account of the pilots who flowed a particular plane, the Doolittle raid. They went to Japan after Pearl Harbor as a retaliation. Yep. And there was also a film called 30 Seconds Over Tokyo based on that book. And they have a song, which was originally from they're the precursor to this band, Rocket from the Tombs, and they became, well, some of them became Peru, but it's a long introduction to this song. Anyway, it's an epic 6.5 minute track, which I find really fascinating because it's very weird. It's not your typical verse, chorus, verse structure. It's Dave Thomas. If you know this band Peru, you'll know that he has a kind of a wacky voice. He passed away like a few months ago, I guess. And I think originally this was kind of dismissed by some critics, but now I think it's held in higher regard. It's really discordant. It's kind of got an underground feel to it. They describe themselves as avant garage, which I find is a really interesting way to put it. I think the song was kind of way ahead of its time. I find it magnificent. And every time it comes on, every time I put it on, because I've never heard it on the radio, you have to kind of put it on. Every time I put it on, I'm just sort of transfixed because I think it's just a magnificent song. And it's one I always think of when I'm thinking of favorite songs. It would be one that occurs to me. There's a couple other versions floating around, like a demo you can get. This is down here is the 45 sleeve for this. But I guess the heart of it is the psychology of the pilot flying to Tokyo, and sort of the perception that it's sort of a suicide mission in a way. So anyway, I picked that to start with because I think it's weird and wonderful, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Am I the only one that's never heard of it, or is it an obscure pick? You guys know this band? I've never even heard of them before.
I know of them.
You might. The only song that they had that had any sort of traction on the radio was a track called "Waiting for Mary," which maybe you remember. But Rob, I saw you nodding a couple times. So we're nodding to the historical elements, or
nodding to the historical element, being a history guy. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. This is why I love having you on, because you show the strangest stuff that I've never heard of before, and I learn a lot. So.
Well, I was going to choose Dancing Queen, but I didn't have that record from ABBA. So
hey, well, we could probably show. That's one song, the only ABBA song I don't like. So can't help it. All right, Tim.
No, me.
Show us something cool.
Let's go with. Let's go. Yeah, I just kind of came in this last minute, and I'm a lot of time, so I just grabbed a whole bunch of records. So just stuff that I just always gravitate back to. The stuff that I always end up just playing, or if it's during the summer, like this particular record gets played a lot in the summer, and that's Jellyfish, Spilt Milk, and my favorite song off this, I don't know if anyone knows it, is a song called New Mistake. It's very like Queen meets Supertramp meets. Ooh. I don't know how to explain, but it's a high production, power pop, great album, great band. These guys, they wrote music for Brian Wilson. They backed up Ringo on an album. They're Beck's touring group live, but this was like the project back in the 90s, and awesome record. But yeah, I tend to go to a couple on this record all the time. And it's good. I don't know if you heard Jellyfish, but great album. And
shockingly, that's signed.
Oh, yeah.
What a surprise when it comes to your collection. And I love how they sort of graffitied on the front by the looks of it.
Yeah, and they all kind of wrote something too, which is kind of cool. I like awesome. That. So they all kind of wrote a little something each one. Yeah. So it's pretty busy, which I like.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, New Mistake, great song.
I'm intrigued by that.
The whole album is pretty flawless, but
I'm intrigued. Queen meets Supertramp.
Queen meets Supertramp meets the Beach Boys, and like some songs have a very like that melodic, high falsetto singing stuff. It's really hard to describe them, but I would say power pop for sure. It kind of this came out around when Nirvana was huge, and it just kind of got drowned out. So it's why no one really heard of them, but fantastic stuff. The whole album is just crazy.
I was going to say they look like from that early grunge era time, and I remember hearing about them on like Much Music and stuff. But you're right, they were drowned out, and I don't think that they really ever got past they were on the cusp, but they just never got anywhere because of all the other ones that drowned them out, like you said.
Like they've done really well for themselves after the fact, but just they never made it mainstream.
certainly an impressive resume, though. You know, Beck's backing band, wrote stuff for Brian. I mean, that's
these guys they're phenomenal musicians. The production of these records are insane too. They've only have 2 records and they're both awesome. Spilt Milk's better in terms of production and maybe it's better songwriting. It's a little more, I don't know, layered and whatnot, more musically stimulating. But I mean, their first record too, called Belly Button, is really, really good too.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm doing the Jason Arsenal here, taking notes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious what you think of them.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued. All right, Daryl, let me supersize you here. There you go.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I mean, I have to do this intentionally right off the bat. I'm going to show a band that me and Brian, we actually really, really love. Rob hates them. Tim, I'm not 100% sure exactly what your thoughts are. And it's actually a genre of music that Rob despises, but me and Brian really like.
Uh-oh.
And so I just want to talk about some ABBA tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I would never, ever do that.
At least you got one. That's an important start.
Actually, I was going to say that my favorite song on here was Dancing Queen. But, you know, I mean, had to do the troll thing right off
I love
the bat.
it. I love it.
No, but this is going to come as no surprise. Rob and I were talking about this the other day, that we weren't going to show these things, but it's kind of hard for me not to when my favorite Canadian band of all time is Glass Tiger.
Nice.
This is not the signed one that Tim gave me. That's over there on the shelf. But this is probably my favorite. I don't know. I like their third album, but it's a little more obscure. So I'll go with this. Diamond Sun is probably my favorite album by Glass Tiger. There's a song on here that never made airwaves, but it's called Far Away From Here.
Oh,
And
great song. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that song. It follows Diamond Sun, and it's really weird because Diamond Sun plays, and then there's like this 20-second hail off, which is just Diamond Sun but instrumental, and then it kicks into Far Away From Here. And for me, it's kind of a song that I never heard when I was in high school, but had I heard it when I was in high school, it probably would have been my anthem, because the town that I grew up in Northwestern Ontario, it was one of those situations where I just wanted to get out. I didn't want to ever live there ever again. I never wanted to go back. Funniest thing, I've been back multiple times with my younger children because they want to see where I'm from and all that. And I respect where I grew up, but it was just one of those situations where I just needed to get out of there. It was too small town. But now I'm stuck back in a small town. And at some point, that's probably going to be my anthem again, as Far Away From Here, because as soon as I pull the pin and head out of here, that'll be it. That'll be the last time. So I don't know. There's just something about that song. Reminds me of just being a teenager, just wanting to get out, leave your parents' house, and go on and do your own thing. And whenever I play that album, I will listen to the song and then lift the turntable arm up and put it on again, just to hear it twice in a row. It's just I think it's a really good song.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I listen to before a curling game to pump me up. I play Thin Red Line.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah. Actually, they're coming to Ottawa in like 2 months. I haven't decided if I'm going to go see them again yet. I've already seen them a couple times, but yeah, they're coming in 2 months. So we'll see if I go.
I sent Daryl a text yesterday. I have one Glass Tiger 45. Don't forget me when I'm gone. Only because Brian Adams is on that song. So I sent Daryl a picture, said I will not be showing this tomorrow. So, and I will not be showing Blue Rodeo today, believe it or not, folks. I purposely, they're one of my favorite bands, but I love a lot of their songs, but there is not one that is like, this is in my favorite of all time. So I'm not showing them. So Richard, you don't have to keep score tonight. I'm not showing any Brian Adams either. So there you go. Let me just get caught up on a few comments here. Trevor's saying he picked up his receiver at Value Village for $20. There's probably some gems floating around in some of those stores. So Yeah, I might pop in one of these days and take a look. Yes, they do, Ryan. Absolutely. What else are we going to say here? Oh, yeah. Trevor's saying that Belly Button was a great debut.
They're both great. Like, you can't go wrong. You got to just check them out.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. My turn. Easy for me to pick my favorite song of all time because I do have a favorite song of all time. And it has been my favorite song of all time for years. I've shown it before on the channel, so it's nothing earth-shattering. My favorite song of all time is Linda Ronstadt's cover of the Rolling Stones song Tumbling Dice. It's been my favorite for, I don't know, since the first time I heard it probably 20 years ago. What is it about that song? Her vocals are absolutely incredible. I think she's the greatest female singer ever, but just the raw power behind that voice on that song is incredible. The guitar work, I absolutely love it. Waddy Wachtel, one of my favorite guitar players. Like, without even thinking, my favorite song is Tumbling Dice. Do I like the Rolling Stones version? You know, it's fine. I kind of have this theory, though, that you prefer the version of the song that you've heard first. Because, I don't know whether that's true, but that tends to be my experience. And I heard hers before I heard the Rolling Stones. So, I don't know. But anyway, my favorite song is Tumbling Dice by Linda Ronstadt. Nothing earth-shattering. I've talked about it before. So, yeah.
Nice.
Douglas, my favorite song is, my favorite Clash song is Radio Clash. There you go. Good song. Richard couldn't keep score anyway because he's eating dinner. What are you having for dinner tonight, Richard? A steak? I'd like to have a steak. I always want to have a steak. All right.
Crock pot ribs tomorrow, apparently. That'll be good.
I never thought of doing ribs in a crock pot.
I did them yesterday in a crock pot. Hey.
Oh, I just did them last week.
So you get like short ribs and you cook. What do you do?
No,
lather them up in barbecue sauce.
Well, it depends. I guess there's lots of ways to do it. I cook them in broth for a while, and then I throw them in the oven to finish them with barbecue sauce. I don't know what other people do.
I'm not sure what my wife has in store. Probably barbecue sauce, though.
Huh. What about you, Tim? How do you do them?
It's one or two ways. So I boil them.
Okay.
And then I'll cover them and put them in the oven really slow with some spices and stuff. Or I'll do the lazy guy way and just put them in a crock pot, just lather it barbecue sauce, like dump a whole bottle in there and just let it go for 8 hours.
See, that's my way of cooking, lazy.
Yeah. And they come right off. You don't they come right off. Like you just hold and just flops right off the bone.
Yeah.
There you go. I might have to do that. We're at the point where I have a 10-year-old, obviously, and his 10-year-old's apt to be, he's pretty picky. And the wife,
Yeah.
well, I'm a little picky too, honestly. I mean, I'm a meat and potatoes guy, but we're at the point where we need some new stuff to cook because we're getting tired of the same old crap that not crap. I mean, we eat healthy food, but it's like the same old stuff. And we're at the point now where kid, we're going to cook something different. And if you like it, great. If you don't, oh, well. So ribs, might do ribs. I'll report back next week, guys. I might, in fact, do that. So. Cooking and vinyl on Wednesday Night Live from the basement.
Yeah. All
right. What do you got, Brian?
Oh, again already?
Time flies here.
So from this record by Magazine, this is I don't know if people know who this is. It's a rock band from Manchester. This is 1978, their debut record called Real Life. Led by Howard Devoto, who used to be in the Buzzcocks before this, went on to be in Luxuria, did some solo stuff. Anyway, there's a track on here called The Light Pours Out of Me, which is on side 2, covered by many people, including Peter Murphy, The Mission covered it. I think Ministry covered it as well. Anyway, the other guy in here that you might know is Jack McGeoch, who's was also in later Susie and the Banshees and things like that. So this is to me, this is one of the genre defining, proto-punk songs. I'm not sure it's really punk. It might actually be post-punk in a way. It starts with a kind of really robotic drum work and then the bass comes in. It just plays a single note, and that what I consider to be a really exceptional guitar riff, which I think is very cool. It centers the song. And, it's a mix of cerebral lyrics and kind of a proto-punk aesthetic, if that makes any sense. I don't even know how to describe the song. I just find it really fascinating. I probably heard a cover version of this first, though. I think I heard the probably the Peter Murphy cover first, believe it or not, which was years after, before I heard this track. So that's opposite of what Rob just said, but I think I like this one better than the Peter Murphy
That's
cover
fair.
version. Not the Peter, yeah. Is it? Yeah, the Peter Murphy, yeah. I think that's the first one. Anyway, really cool track in my opinion. I think this is their best record, one of my favorite debut records. I think it's just really incredible. Some people don't like the record, as I've heard, but I think it's fantastic. Really great. Especially the guitar in here. I think the guitar is really cool. So
Right
that's that.
Right
Yeah.
on. Good one. I'm surprised when you said the Manchester word that Rob Walker didn't just pop up in the comments. It's kind of like if you say Billy Joel, John usually pops up, but John's busy doing other things.
Yeah, that's funny. This is like Manchester before Manchester, what kind of thing,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Tim.
Well, not quite Billy Joel, but on the same front actually, is probably my favorite song from Elton John, and that would be Indian Sunset. So I know a lot of people I know for whatever reason, a lot of people pick different songs off this album that they like. But for me, Indian Sunset is probably my favorite Elton John song of all time. It's just the story that all his stories are all his songs are kind of stories, but Indian Sunset's kind of one of those ones that just kind of takes you off somewhere. Again, so do other many Elton John songs, but I don't know what it is about Indian Sunset. I think it's just the piano player in me. I played piano for 25 years, and once I found Elton John, I kind of went down that rabbit hole, and that was kind of the song that stuck for me, was Indian Sunset from this album. But there's so many I could have picked from, but this is the first one I saw. And I know from other musicians that I've read or that I've heard from interviews and stuff, they've mentioned Indian Sunset as well. But yeah, they got Tiny Dancer, Leave On, Razorface is another really good song, Rotten Peaches, but yeah.
Sam's weighing in here saying Indian Sunset is superb. Holiday Inn is way
Oh
up
yeah,
there.
Holiday Inn, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. All right.
Just the piano player in me. So
Wrong with that. All right, Daryl.
So my next choice is probably one of my favorite bands of the 90s, and I know every time I show this, Brian laughs like almost every time that he sees this, because it almost doesn't fit in with the rest of my collection. But I got to show Primus and their Tales from the Punch Bowl album, which this is the insert, which I actually think is really funny. The three members of the band on basically on an iceberg. But I had a hard time narrowing it down to my favorite Primus song. So I'm going to go with two of them that are on this album for two different reasons. So there's a song on here called Southbound Pachyderm. Probably the only time you'll ever hear Pachyderm in the lyrics to a song. But there's like a 1 minute intro to that song. And it's just like his bass guitar going off. And there's like he does like this little whistle. You know the whistle that people can do with their teeth where they just kind of go like that? So he kind of does that. And then all of a sudden just kicks into this really cool drum beat. And that's why I like that song. And the music video is hilarious with this elephant with like airplane wings on it. It's just such a stupid video, but it's funny. So I like that song. And then there's another song that they do. And I mean, these guys are like the kings of like alternative music, but with a whole pile of other bizarre genres that they do. There's another song on here called De Anza Jig. And it's kind of like their version of Americana bluegrass country music. It's kind of weird. And they just kind of talk about a whole pile of weird characters that are in the song. One called Flouncin' Freddy. One's a prostitute hooker. It's just the lyrics are funny, and it just shows their oddities and bizarreness. And it is also the album that has Winona's Big Brown Beaver, which is actually a porcupine. So there you go. Primus.
Good choice.
Well done. Let's see. A few comments I want to get caught up on. Record Hound's having a gourmet feast tonight. Chicken nuggets. I got a 10-year-old and I eat those damn things too often. So Richard loves that magazine album, Brian.
Great.
Alex is joining us. How you doing, my friend? Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds reference with Barry Adamson being an original member of Magazine. There you go.
Yeah.
And there's a big like for your Spark shirt.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Sam says, as I awoke this morning with the smell of wood smoke clinging. So
yeah,
good.
It's Indian Sunset.
There you go. Record on saying that inset of Primus was the OG LP cover. There you go. Apparently Sam can whistle, but not with his teeth. Okay. I'm gonna stay out of that. Danza Jig is hilarious.
It is a funny song.
Yeah. And Scott's joining us. How you doing, Scott? Welcome. All right. That brings me back to me. Okay. This is kind of an oddball one from left field. I only have it on 45 because I don't even know if it was ever on an album. Why is this my favorite? I don't know. From 1957, one of my favorite songs of all time is Come Go With Me by the Del Vikings. Why? I have the foggiest flipping idea. No idea. Del Vikings were a doo-wop group from Pittsburgh. They were members, I think, of the U.S. Air Force or whatever. That's how they got to know each other. And after the service, they formed a singing group. And if I'm not mistaken, they were the first biracial doo-wop group. And, I think maybe because when I was a kid, I grew up listening to oldies radio. Oldies, 50s and 60s oldies. Because that was what the station was in the town that I live in. And so every morning getting ready for school, Dad would already had left for work, and Mom and I'd be having breakfast, and the oldies radio station would come on. And for some reason, Come Go With Me always, I just thought was the 5-part doo-wop harmonies. I just thought were pretty incredible. This, Sam would know this. Later, this was covered by the Beach Boys. So, does it really fit in with other stuff in my collection? But I guess my dad listened to a lot of doo-wop, and he listened to a lot of Motown and that kind of stuff. So,
your song "Whispering Bells" is really good.
Yeah,
is that the other side?
No, the other side of this is "How Can I Find True Love." So, this made it to number 12 on the Chum Radio charts in Canada in 1957.
Wow!
And as I was looking, Rolling Stone named this one of the 500 greatest songs ever. So
there's a bit of Beatles history to that song too.
Is there? What's that?
Apparently, John Lennon used to play it back in his scuffle days, whatever.
Yes,
before.
That's right. Yes,
and then when Paul met him, then he used to shift the words because he didn't know the words.
Yeah, come with me to the penitentiary or something like that. I remember that. I think that was in the anthology they talked about. I forgot all about that, Tim. Thanks for jogging my memory on that. So, I'm going to ignore Alex's comment about prostitute hookers. I would know nothing about that. Strippers, Alex. Stripper. There's a difference. They cost less. Regardless of what one thinks of Primus, Claypool is a genius.
Yeah,
Trevor saying his lyrics are very influenced by the rest.
Do you listen to the Claypool Lennon Delirium?
No, I haven't heard any of that.
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff too.
I used to have his. What was the name of that band he had? Well, he was with Primus in the night. Well, he's still with Primus, but there was another band he formed in the mid '90s with Primus. I can't even remember what it's called now. And they had some really weird stuff too. And he also had the Frog Brigade and just so many different things he does.
Richard is sadly reminding us that Nirvana and Pearl Jam are
No.
oldies. Yeah.
No.
Which it's right? Because I mean, I remember in the 80s when I was listening to radio stations from the 50s and 60s. That was 20 and 30 years previous. So that is the 90s now. That's frightening. So I was curious what Record Hound would say about this because I know he's kind of like the oldies 45 expert. Come Go With Me was originally released regionally on Phoebe label, then Dot picked it up for national distribution. You worked at an oldies radio station. I wondered that because you're always the expert on this. So that's cool. That's awesome. Has Brian mentioned Hank Williams yet? No, but I'm sure that's coming up next. So
It's deep in the pile.
yeah, I bet. He actually prefers Hank Williams Jr. the most.
That's funny.
Douglas says a favorite Deep Purple song, Space Trucking, the long version from Made in Japan. It's a good song. Let's see. Pile of what, bro? We'll just ignore that one. Let's see what Brian's saying here. Fearless
Sausage. That was the band
Frog
Sausage.
Brigade, Sausage, Oysterhead.
Right.
There you go. Okay. We'll go around again, I think, because it's now Brian's turn again.
Again? All right.
For some Hank Williams Jr. or Senior or
Hank Williams coming up.
the third.
I'm actually picking a song that for a time was my favorite song, actually for quite a few years. And it's from this Adrian Belew record, the record called Lone Rhino from 1982. And the track I'm talking about is Big Electric Cat, which is the first song on side one. So if you don't know who Adrian Belew is, well, he's a musician, guitarist. I guess he's most famous for having been member of King Crimson from 81 to just a few years ago. As the vocalist and guitarist. He toured with Bowie on the Glass Spiders tour. He was Bowie's guitarist for that tour. He played with Talking Heads, Laurie Anderson, Tom Tom Club. There's a long list. Anyway, very inventive guitarist who is known for making interesting noises with his guitar, most noticeably an elephant in the track Elephant Talk from King Crimson. But on this record, Big Electric Cat, for a long time, if someone asked me what my favorite song was, I would choose that song because it's just very weird. He just sings Big Electric Cat over and over again, but with really interesting guitar works. He's a multi-instrumentalist as well. He can play drums and whatnot, keyboards, I guess. But so very inventive guitar work on his albums, and that song always really captivated me. And I don't know, it's a really interesting track. Just repeating myself. But fascinating. I just always loved it. Like the lyrics, I don't think you could make heads or tails of the lyrics because it doesn't really make any sense. But I guess he's got guitar sounds, he's got synthesized guitar sounds, just treatments, etc. I find him really interesting. It's a really aggressive, propulsive. Well, not aggressive. It's a propulsive track. I think it just moves along at a good pace, and then it's over too soon, which I guess is a mark of a good song when it's over and you don't want it to be. But I find it really interesting. And Adrian Belew, who sadly was not invited back to the reformed King Crimson, which I think was a problem because I think the band was better with him than without him. But interesting guy, very cool.
Well, Douglas likes your choice. He says it's excellent.
Cool.
Okay, Tim.
All right. We're gonna tap into a little bit of prog here and go.
Alex just got all excited. He said frog.
I got it.
You got it.
Hands down, one of the most played Genesis songs from my perspective is a song called Firth of Fifth from this album. Yeah. Firth of Fifth is a crazy, crazy song. Took me like 4 months to learn that piano piece. Can I play it now? No, because I haven't played it in a couple of years. But there was a point where I was able to play that like in my sleep. And yeah, Firth of Fifth. I don't know how many people listen to the Gabriel Genesis, but genius stuff. The way it just meanders, and the album itself is awesome. It's probably one of my favorite albums too. But Firth of Fifth, definitely one of my favorite Genesis songs. Actually, can I do a twofer?
Absolutely.
So if that's the heads, let's go the tails and go Phil Collins. Okay, and from this, my second probably most played Genesis song would be a song called "Driving the Last Spike." It's kind of a song about kind of like Gordon Lightfoot's Railroad Trilogy, kind of building the railroad. It's kind of like their take on where the father goes off and has to leave his family, and so it takes you through that story. It's incredible. So I couldn't pick between the two, so I did one.
That album there has to be one of the least talked about Genesis albums, and it is. I don't know why everybody hates it. I love that album.
I love it. I mean, it's not something I put on to just.
It's another one like everybody thinks, right? Jesus, He Knows Me is this religious song, and it has nothing to do with that. It's a complete knock on evangelicalism and how it's portrayed on TV and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it. It gets a little.
There's so many songs on there with. They just touch base on so many different issues on that album. It's fantastic. And then, like you said, Driving the Last Spike is more like a Lightfoot type story.
Yeah, and it just there's like 4 or 5 segments in it, and it all just kind of goes together, and then it circles back to the start at the very end. It's incredible song. I don't know how. I mean, he knows what he's doing. But it did get near the end, like it does get a little Phil Collins solo-y, like with "Hold On My Heart."
Yeah, the last
Never a Time, things like that. But the first half is awesome. I love this record.
It's the Genesis album that no offense, Alex, but if you discuss prog Genesis with anybody, they will destroy that album every single time almost.
Richard is saying, thank you for not choosing I Can't Dance.
I agree.
And Alex is saying, in a million years, I would have not expected Tim to show Selling New England by the Pound followed by We Can't Dance. Consider me shook. You've made Alex's day, so there you go.
Right on.
All right, Daryl, what you got?
Don't go all proggy on us, Alex. Do that.
We're gonna have Alex on we're gonna have Alex on in a few weeks, so we'll have to figure something that he can show some prog.
So here's a guy that I hardly ever talk about, and I know that in recent weeks or recent months we've kind of talked about musicians that are, I don't want to call them douchebags, but we've kind of mentioned that this guy's kind of turned this way a little bit, maybe, but I don't talk about him very often, and that's John Mellencamp. And this is the Lonesome Jubilee album, and the song "Check It Out." I don't know what it is about that song. I love that song. There's a guitar solo that's in the middle. I think I don't know if they're playing like violins or something in there. There's an instrument. I just can't place it off the top of my head. And it reminds me, we talk about this lots on the show, songs that remind us of our childhood and our parents and stuff. And this song used to come on the radio all the time, at least on our local radio in the late 80s. And, going blueberry picking and doing stuff like that with my dad when I was a kid. And it always seemed to come on the radio. But I just love the guitar solo that is in Check It Out. I could have shown the Authority song, because that's actually another one of my favorites by Mellencamp, is the Authority song. And Brian, you talked about it at the top of the show. Like, it depends on the mood. Like, would you like it played in the stadium or not? And I think the Authority song is one of those songs that's just rocking and would have to be played in a larger setting. But I think Check It Out kind of toys towards, I don't want to call it the country side of things, but it's airing slowly on that side of the Mellencamp, and would be better off in like a smaller setting, I think. But there's just something about that song. I think it's the guitar solo. It's a fiddle, and I think it's just really good stuff. That's my favorite Mellencamp song. In fact, you asked me how the trip down to Timmins was for my son's tournament. I listened to that song probably 4 times on my MP3 player. I have one of those little blue MP3 players, and it was on
nice. I thought I was the only one that still used an MP3 player.
I still have one.
You did? I still have 2 iPod Classics, and they're wonderful. All right. Okay. I'm going to show this one. Again, another album I've shown before, but if we're talking favorite songs, I was in just this band was everything for a long time for me. Grace Potter and the Nocturnals. I loved this band. They were a rock band from Vermont, from about 2005 till about 2014, I think, when Grace blew up the band, which is unfortunate. I got to see them once. I met Grace and I met Scott Tournay, her guitar player. This band just was my world for several years because I hadn't heard anything like it. It was 70s, kind of like that 70s throwback rock with some blues in it, and I just absolutely loved it. I stumbled across them purely by accident. I happened to be on YouTube, and there was watching some videos. There used to be, and I don't know if it's still around, but there used to be a radio station in Vancouver called Shore FM, and they would do studio sessions. And I happened to be watching a couple friends of mine do a studio session at Shore FM, and it just so happened the next video in the sequence was Grace Potter at Shore FM doing a song called Paris Ooh La La. And I went, what's this? This is cool. I like that throwback rock stuff. So then I went down the rabbit hole, discovered this album, which unfortunately is their second to last record. But I have all their albums and even have her solo stuff. But that's a long-winded way of saying this band was just awesome. I loved it. Some of the best throwback rock I'd ever heard. So the song is Paris Ooh La La, which is probably their biggest single. It's just a great rocker. And it's always, for the last, since I heard it in like 2012, been one of my favorite songs of all time. Just, she's got this great voice that's to me is kind of a mix of like Grace Slick and Janis Joplin. I just absolutely love it. So there you go. Grace Potter and the Nocturnals.
Very cool.
We got some more MP3 fans here. So Richard's saying I have 2 iPods, haven't used them in a while. And Chilled Pine says I still have the U2 album on my iPod. There you go. I have 2 iPod Classics 7 Gen, but one of them is all modded, so it has a lithium-ion battery and it has a solid-state hard drive. It's all pimped out, and it's pretty awesome. I love it. Take it whenever I travel for work because I don't want to. My phone is a work phone, so I don't put music on it. So I gotta have my MP3 player. So, there we go. Back to the top, Brian.
All right. This is another song that was for many years my favorite song. I don't know when though, but it's from a guy called Brian Eno, which I've mentioned on my channel maybe a few times. This is marketed as just Eno. I think it even says Eno only on the spine, but it's Brian Eno, formerly of Roxy Music. He was with them for 2 records, and then he went on this really interesting journey. Calls himself a non-musician, but his early releases were really sort of rock, maybe a bit of glam, very interesting. And then of course he's known to be the guy that does lots of ambient and also very interesting music. Anyway, this record has a track on here called Babies on Fire on side 1, third track on side 1. Oh, I didn't tell you the name of the record. It's called Here Come the Warm Jets. If you want to know what that means, you can look it up. There's some dispute over that. But anyway, I'm not going to say much about the song because I really don't understand it. It's a very wacky song. The lyrics are kind of confusing, but the song has a really interesting, what I think is sort of a tense atmosphere, and it's broken up by this really chaotic and frenzied guitar solo by Robert Fripp from King Crimson, which I find really great. One of my favorite guitar solos. So I don't really know what to say about it other than that because it's just so wacky, and I've never been able to make heads or tails of it. I just know that I really love the song. It's just really cool and weird. It's a rock song for sure. It has a lot of energy behind it. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about it because it's just wacky, but it definitely is right up there in favorite songs. If I actually ever did a list of favorite songs, Baby's on Fire would be on the list, way up near the top for sure. Great album overall too, I will say. Fantastic. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that.
I would be shocked to say, I would be surprised. What's the word I'm trying to say? I'm shocked that you showed Brian Eno.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, just like I'm sure there's probably going to be some Leonard Cohen at some point in time this season.
I did not choose any Leonard Cohen songs.
Really?
Yep.
Just like I didn't pick any Blue Rodeo. So there you go. Surprises galore tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Tim.
All right. Let's tapping into something totally different again. We're gonna. I didn't know. I just pulled. I don't know why I pulled this particular album. There's a favorite song from every album, but I personally like this guy's own stuff more than his parodies. If you know where I'm going, and that is
Weird Al.
Weird Al. And I don't know why I pulled this particularly. It's just the first one I saw, but there's a song on here called Hardware Store where he just goes on and on for about 5 minutes about what you can find in a hardware store. And there's so many lyrics jammed into 5 minutes that there's a section of the song that he can't actually play live because he can't, like, his breath can't sustain to keep the lyrics going. And it's awesome it's just fun. It's a fun listen. But yeah, he's got a parody of what else is on here? A parody of what's the Eminem song from that movie, 10th Mile?
8 Mile.
Oh, Lose
The
Yourself.
one where it's like don't lose yourself, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's called Couch Potato. He's like, if you only have one shot to sit on your butt all day and listen to or watch TV for the rest of your life, would you do it? And then it's a whole bunch. But Avril Lavigne's on here. Oh, there's a song called Bob, which is just a song full of palindromes, which is actually pretty awesome. So it's a song. It's his own song in the style of Bob Dylan, and every line in the song is a palindrome. So whatever he says forward is the same thing backward. The whole song. It's genius. Give it a listen. It's awesome.
I think like almost every song that guy's ever done is absolutely fantastic. Like just how he comes up with those lyrics is just crazy.
Yeah. So Weird Al. Had to throw in some Weird Al. I'm a sucker.
Have you heard the in the drive-through song, eh? Have you heard that one?
Oh yeah, where it goes on for like 9 minutes.
It goes on for like 9 minutes of getting stuck in a drive-through, and then at the end.
Yeah, and how he bides his
Forgets
time
his
for 9
order.
minutes. How he bides his time in the drive-through. Then he gets to the speaker, and then he gets to the window, and then it's genius.
So funny.
My pet peeve about drive-thrus, and this has happened to me a lot. You go to Tim Hortons, and there's always a line at the Tim Hortons drive-thru. And you're waiting, 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 and you finally get to the speaker, and you say, "I would like an ice cap, please." And they say, "I'm sorry, we're cleaning the ice cap machine right now." And I go, "Dang it. I've just been sitting in this line for 10 minutes, and I can't get the thing I want to get." Oh, well. I'll go to the Tim Hortons down the street because there's always one 2 blocks away. So, first world problems. Richard hopes you're going to show some Gary Newman, Brian.
Okay. I'll keep it in mind.
It'll be right after the.
He's on tour soon.
Yeah,
Is
that's
he?
true. That's
He's
true.
coming to Montreal in like a month or two.
Oh. This means it's Daryl's turn. Yes, it is Daryl's turn. I will be back in 60 seconds. I got to say goodnight to my son. So steer the ship there, Daryl.
I will.
All right.
I will do this. I know that this is definitely one of Rob's favorite Canadian bands.
Oh.
So when we think about like music that we like, one of the things for me is like what would be my entrance song if I was like a wrestler or I was a hockey player or something like that.
Oh, Tom
And-
Cotton. Red Rider?
Definitely not Tom Cochrane. I would be going with "Burn It to the Ground" by Nickelback.
Oh, God. I'm out.
I don't know that song.
It was on. I think they used to play it on like Hockey Night in Canada lots actually. But I just love that song, "Burn It to the Ground." There's a lot of good. Well, if you're a Nickelback fan, there's a lot of good songs on this Best of Volume 1. Maybe one day they'll come up with the Best of Volume 2. And of course, the inner on this is just credits, and then of course Chad Kroeger and the guys right there. But I had to go with some Nickelback tonight because I think I'm the only one in the VC that promotes these guys. Everybody seems to hate them.
You know,
probably because they're overplayed.
Daryl, 2 videos ago, my daughter chose Nickelback as one of the 10 worst bands ever. Just so you know. Just throwing it out there.
I watched their documentary, the one I think it was on Netflix or Disney. I can't remember, and I actually really liked it. Like how they started off in this really small Albertan town. And they weren't supposed to go big, and then they struggled to play gigs and stuff, and then all of a sudden they got their break. And I think perhaps one of the reasons that people hate Nickelback is Chad Kroeger is quite an arrogant musician, but I can't fault him on that. I think he's kind of earned it. I mean they're the #1 pretty much selling Canadian band of all time, and but yeah, "Burn It to the Ground" would be my, if I was a wrestler or a athlete coming out on the ice. I just love that song, the guitars, the drums on it, and I would make sure that Rob was there every step of the way supporting me on my Nickelback journey.
I would support you, Daryl.
Yeah.
I just have earplugs.
You have to be a wrestler now. There's no way out of it. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Trevor is saying, I don't like Nickelback, join the crowd, but their documentary was interesting. I'll take your word for that.
I don't get the hate. I don't get the band, but I don't get the hate. I mean, I know all their stuff all sounds the same to me. Every song sounds like every other song. Is it bad? Maybe it's not bad music, but I just don't get it personally.
Yeah. You know what?
It's like Taylor Swift. Like I just can't get nothing.
Careful
I don't
now.
I don't hate. No,
Careful,
I don't hate Taylor Swift.
Careful.
Like her music is fine, but I just can't get into it.
Careful, Tim.
And
Big Swiftie here. You know what? Listen. Do I like Nickelback? Absolutely not. Do I hate them? No. I mean, it's just kind of the recurring joke. I don't give 2 craps about Nickelback, and I don't want to listen to them. I don't find it appealing.
I think Rob, you probably have a lot of similarity with Nickelback as you do the Tragically Hip. You respect them, but you don't really.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. I just, it's one of our recurring jokes. I mean, like my hatred for Bob Dylan, that's real. That's many reasons why I can't stand Bob Dylan. But that's also a recurring joke, right? It's kind of like, I like to have colorful analogies about Bob Dylan, and we like to rag on the fact that, Nickelback sucks. I'm really indifferent to them, to be quite honest. And it's another one of those running jokes, like, Daryl really needs to have more ABBA. So
what's
I haven't
really
listened.
funny, Rob, about the Tragically Hip is the other day when I was booking those provincial parks, my buddy said, "Hey, we should get you to do a video with us at nighttime in front of the campfire and discuss records. And then as soon as you're done discussing the records, we'll throw each one in the fire." And I said, "Only if all 10 of them are Tragically Hip records." And my buddy goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. You were in Kingston 6 months ago and they saved your life. You need to respect them." That's what he said. It was so funny.
That would be funny though. I mean, you don't want to have a record, but yeah, that would be fun. I don't know that I wouldn't burn. I don't hate Tragic. That's one I just genuinely, I get it. And I get how culturally important they are. And they are the best band in Canada in the last 40 years. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. No disrespect to Gord, rest in peace. I can't do it.
And it took me a while to get into them, but I like them now. So
yeah,
I think they're pretty good.
They're amazing. I just don't like it. So, and you know what? It doesn't matter what I say. I'm just some idiot on YouTube. So my opinion does not matter about anything. So. I think it's my turn now, yeah? I think so.
Yeah.
Hopefully Record Hound's still watching because I'm going to go oldies again. And they do have this on an album, but I figured I'd show the 45 just for shits and giggles. On the old Roulette label, I really, really, really love Sweet Cherry Wine by Tommy James and the Shondells. In fact, I love everything that Tommy James and the Shondells did. Why? I don't know. Again, I think it goes back to the oldies radio station thing back when I was a kid. You know, he had some great hits. I Think We're Alone Now and Crimson and Clover. And, you know, there were some others that escaped me at the moment. But for some reason, I always really, really loved the song Sweet Cherry Wine. It's got some, like, gong and bell in the background, and the vocals are good. I know it's got some, I guess it has some religious connotations. I'm not religious, so I don't know exactly what they mean, nor do I particularly care. I just really like the song. The one and only time that I ever phoned into a radio station to request a song, back when I was a teenager, we used to have, and I don't know if you guys ever remember this, there was a nationally syndicated all-request oldies show at night. I think it was called Goldline. I think it was and it broadcast on dozens of radio stations across Canada. And it went on from like 10 o'clock at night till 1 in the morning or whatever. And one time I phoned in and I requested this song. They did not play it. But the only time I ever phoned in and requested something from a radio station. So, hey, Low Noise Jason Skills. How you doing, my friend? Welcome.
I had an opposite experience, Rob, where I requested a song on a radio station in Windsor when my wife and I were first dating. And it was over the lunch hour, and I dedicated the song to her. And then all of a sudden, they were like, after the break, we're going to play this song. And the guy that was sitting next to me in the factory, he was like, holy shit, is that the song that you requested? And he's like, I'll cover for you. Go run to the lunchroom, call your wife at work. And so I called, and just before it played, she picked up, and I was like, turn the radio on right now. And it actually was a Valentine's Day request. Aww. And I won 2 Buddy's deep dish pizzas out of Detroit, Michigan, 2-liter bottles of pop. And I had to go over to the States and get them, but you weren't allowed to bring meat products back to Canada.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Trevor, I don't know if Trevor's ever had Buddy's deep dish pizza out of Detroit, but it's really good.
So let's just contrast this for a moment. So you do something sweet on you know where I'm going with this, Daryl. You do something sweet on Valentine's Day, like do this radio request for your wife. This is years after you dumped a girl at the Valentine's Day dance.
That is correct.
It's all about balance, folks. What can I say? What's Trevor saying there? When I was a kid, I thought Tommy James' Crystal Blue Persuasion was Smokey Robinson. Interesting. I guess I could maybe see that. As a plug, I don't know if Sam's still watching. I don't know how Sam managed to do this, but over on his channel 6 months ago or whatever, he interviewed Tommy James, which was probably my favorite video I've ever seen by anybody on the VC. I just thought it was absolutely incredible. So go check that out over on Americana Sam's channel. All right, Brian, we're back to you.
Yeah, I feel like I should have mentioned that I requested a radio station play Big Electric Cat on my birthday, and they did. So we're talking about radio stuff. So I changed the order of things because of a comment that came on the screen. So I'm going to talk about Gary Newman.
See, Rich is excited now.
And as you'll notice, this is Gary Newman plus Tubeway Army, because originally it was just Tubeway Army, but this was a repressing after Pleasure Principle came out, so they had to capitalize on this thing. But on this record is a track called Our Friends Electric, ? My favorite Gary Newman song, no question about that. But, for a long time, I didn't know what it meant. And so, in fact, until today, I didn't know what it meant. So I looked it up, and apparently, I'm going to read this to you, but it's a character who's in a wrong one. Where did it go? Here, let me go with that. Yeah. Explores the theme of loneliness, isolation, and artificial intimacy in a dystopian future. He describes a narrative interacting with a narrator interacting with humanoid androids or friends that provide services including sexual companionship in a world where humans are being replaced. Now, I had no idea. I don't know how you'd ever get that from the lyrics of the song. I looked at it again today and I'm thinking, okay, I'm reading the lyrics. I don't know what that means, but this song to me was so far ahead of its time. In fact, if this song was released today, I think it'd still be ahead of its time. It's so cool. It's very heavy synth. There is guitar in it, but it's a really heavily synth-based thing. I just love that. I think that's the best track he's ever done. I think it's fantastic. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I said this about Babies on Fire. I don't understand the song, but I love the sound of it. The synth work in there is phenomenal. I just think it's peak Gary Newman. And so I don't know. If someone could figure out that's what it means from these lyrics, I don't know. I think that's asking a lot, but I don't know. Fantastic song though, for sure.
Does that have Down in the Park on it as well?
Yes, which is also a fantastic song for sure.
But not about.
I was going to ask what your thoughts were about Down in the Park. It is a good song.
I love it. I don't know if I'm very good at. I mean, the lyrics are a little out there. I mean, they're a little intense, right? So I don't know if I can interpret. I mean, this is probably more obvious than the other song, but yeah, it's also futuristic kind of alien kind of thing, I guess. But I don't know. It's great though, in a way. It's a good song. Me, I Disconnect from You is also in here. Yeah. I mean, it's just sort of this weird alien thing running through some of his music, because there's like this track on here, I Nearly Married a Human. So When Machines Rock, it's interesting. And Replicas, in fact, the title's interesting. Anyway, great song.
Okay. From sex robots to Tim. Follow that, Tim.
All right. Well, my wallet has a very unhealthy relationship with this man, and I mean, I could have picked. I like everything that this guy. Every song is a favorite song, but I went with this album. Just why not? And that's Paul McCartney, and I love this song. I love Monkberry Moon Delight from this album, and it's a song that probably no one maybe has ever heard. But he sounds like he just swallowed a bottle of razor blades and then just sang this ridiculous song with ridiculous lyrics. But I love it. I love that. But I mean, I know you've got your big ones on here. But I mean, what Paul McCartney album isn't? You know, they're all big. I know he had a falling out in the 90s there, but he still has some great gems from the 90s and 2000s. If you listen to them, he's got some great songs. But yeah, I went with this one, Monkberry Moon Delight. Not much to say about Paul McCartney, really. What do you say, right? But yeah,
All right.
Monkberry Moon
Other
Delight.
than the fact that he wouldn't sign your album.
What's that?
Was it?
Paul
Oh,
McCartney?
I was thinking somebody else actually.
He
No.
did sign your album, right?
Like 20 years ago. Yeah.
Well, it still counts. I mean, none of the rest of us have met Paul McCartney or have Paul McCartney autographs. So.
Yeah. I don't even think he signs anymore. I don't know. But
Who knows?
yeah, no, it's probably one of my favorite solo albums, favorite songs.
You know, it's funny. I've said I'm not a big fan of the solo Beatles.
Yeah.
I love John stuff, but everyone else, I don't care.
Okay.
I've never heard that album.
Really?
Never once. No.
It got crapped on when it came out, but now it's veered as one of his best. But yeah, I don't know. It's
I have Flaming Pie and I have Band on the Run.
what do you think of Flaming Pie?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Yeah, like it's okay.
Okay. No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I have an original from 1990 whenever it came out, and those are worth a pretty penny.
Yeah.
And then I have the deluxe reissue archival one.
Mhm.
Only reason I bought it, I was in one of my locals, which is kind of a shitty store, and they had it. It was perfectly fine. They had it on clearance, and it was $35. I'm like, I'm gonna buy that for $35. Why not? Sure.
Yeah.
So, Richard saying he loves Flaming Pie, very underrated. I suppose if I
great.
listen to it again, I guess like I said, I'm not a fan of the solo Beatles other than John. So I should listen to that album though, because
So which John album do you like when you say John?
Sometime in New York is crap.
Yeah.
But I think the rest of them, like Mind Games is great, Imagine is great.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Double Fantasy, the half of it, John, is great. I love Rock and Roll, which is the covers album. I think that's fantastic. Plastic Ono Band is. I love all of them except for Sometime in New York. And Two Virgins, not interested in that one either. But yeah, I just love all of it.
Interesting.
I know, weird, eh? But
yeah,
it is what it is.
Like,
I should listen to that McCartney album. I see it all the time, and everyone raves about it.
McCartney's good, but honestly, Ram is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, McCartney is overrated. I find.
Sure.
Ram is just awesome.
Okay.
And yeah, it's
You're
probably
saying the next time I see it, I should pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least stream it just to get a feel for it. But it's pretty rocking.
That's a dirty word, stream. Though.
I know.
I need a shower after that. All right, Daryl.
Okay. Speaking of rocking, this guy's rocking, and I know for sure Rob's gonna like this one because we've talked about this album many times. But "Life Is a Highway" is not my favorite song on this one. Mad Mad World. My favorite Tom Cochrane song is "Sinking Like a Sunset."
Oh,
I love that song.
Good song.
That's a really deep song, and actually the last song that's on here, "All the King's Men," is fantastic. And I mean, there's some flawed songs on here. If you haven't heard this album, there's a couple of flawed songs towards the later end of it. Like I don't like "The Secret Is to Know When to Stop" and stuff like that. Those are kind of just cheesy songs. But "Sinking Like a Sunset," if you haven't heard that song, it's a pretty deep song. It's a really good song, and I don't know. Once again, it goes back to a time when my dad was alive and listened to this. My brother had this on CD when I was in elementary school. I actually remember the first time I heard this album. I was going on a soccer trip in my grade 8 year, and I was getting on the bus, and some kid had it on a CD player, and we were listening to it on the bus, rocking away. So, yeah, it's really funny because the album cover that I remember is the one that's on the back of this album. But I have this one. But like I said, if you haven't heard "Sinking Like a Sunset," "Washed Away" is another one, just a killer song that's on here. And "All the King's Men." Like, I think the issue with this album is it's like so many other musicians that "Life Is a Highway" was such a big popular song on the radio, both in Canada and the United States, that everybody just overlooked the rest of the album. And the rest of the album, to me, is way better than "Life Is a Highway."
I'll agree with you on that. Yep.
So I had to go with this because I wanted to just, like, I would hazard a guess that there's a lot of people that probably prefer "Washed Away," "Sinking Like a Sunset." There's a few other tracks that are on there over "Life Is a Highway," probably because we've heard it so many times that it's just, not that it's not a good song, it's just
right.
And then as much as I like Rascal Flatts and their version from Cars, it's not even anywhere comparable to the original. So, but yeah, no, "Sinking Like a Sunset," if you're not familiar with it, check it out. It's a great song.
I agree with you. Since you showed that album, I'm going to have to show this. I own one CRIA award. So that's like the American RIAA. It's a Canadian Recording Association. So I have the 5 times platinum award from the CRIA right there, awarded to HMV Canada for 5 times platinum sales of that album. So there you go. My only, and it's an official one. Like, it's not one of those ones you buy in the grocery store. This is an actual CRIA award.
Where'd you get that?
Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, wow.
Facebook Marketplace. Wow. So how I got it is that was given to HMV at their, for their corporate office in HMV Canada, corporate office in Toronto or whatever. And that was where that hung. And apparently, so the guy that I bought it from, he had a friend that worked at HMV Canada's corporate office, and they were, I don't know, changing out the awards or whatever, putting new ones up or whatever. And so they were giving some away, and he took that one, and this antique dealer guy bought it off of him and had it for sale on Marketplace. So I always wanted a CRIA award just because.
That's cool.
Why not? So, yeah, that's my one and only. My turn now. Since Tim went with McCartney, I'll go with the Beatles. And I am probably going with one of the most unlikely favorite songs. And I think if you asked 1,000 people, no one would pick this as their favorite song. But not only my favorite Beatles song, but one of my favorite songs of all time, hence the reason of its inclusion this evening,
Bungalow Bill.
off the White Album, is Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey. It is kind of like what Brian said. You know, he had a couple songs that were kind of zany and weird. Well, that's why I like this song. It's kind of nonsensical. But what I love about it, it's got this awesome, fairly heavy guitar riff. It's just, you know, some straight power chords, but it's just a catchy guitar riff. And there's a whole lot of cowbell in this song. It's weird, but I love it. So my favorite Beatles song, and easily in my top 10 of all time, is Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey.
I thought you were going to go for Revolution number 9 there.
Oh, no. Revolution number 1, which is on here, is good, but then the single version of Revolution, for the longest time when I was like a teenager, was one of my favorite songs of all time.
I thought you were going to pick Bungalow Bill.
See, that's fun too. I mean, there's so much to love on the White Album. There's very few that I don't love. There's maybe 3 I don't love off the White Album, but Me and My Monkey, it's just such a weird song. So that's what we're going with. A few things on the comments. Richard thinks Flaming Pie is very underrated. Trevor says Band on the Run is a great album. Yeah, I like that one a lot. And Richard says, I prefer all Wings albums over solo McCartney albums. So I haven't heard enough of them to make a comment. And I probably won't, but I will listen to Ram at some point in time. All right. Brian.
All right, let's choose a band from Dusseldorf. I picked Kraftwerk. So many tracks that are good, but for me, the best Kraftwerk track is the title track, Trans-Europe Express from 1977. And look how nice these guys look. They all got dressed up for their album cover, which I think is fantastic. Anyway, the thing I like about this song is, first of all, the mood of the song. The sound of it is, it's electronic, so it's got that really propulsive song that sounds like a train, because after all, this is apparently about post-war luxury high-speed train travel in Europe, sort of like the entry into a new future, if you will. So these are obviously the pioneers of electronic music. The song's also cool because it name drops both Iggy Pop and David Bowie. The only problem for me with that song is it's way too short. It's only like just over 4 minutes. I think that's a song like they should have done an Audubon treatment on that, like make a whole side of that song, because I think it's just so good, and I'm always disappointed when it ends because it's just so short. But I can show you the back. Anyway, terrific album from Kraftwerk, but Trans-Europe Express would be my favorite Kraftwerk song by a big margin, I think. Fantastic song. Yeah,
cool.
I saw them last year.
Every time I think about Kraftwerk, I don't know what it is. It doesn't come to my mind that they're these like sophisticated looking businessmen. I always think of them as like just zany Germans that are doing like electronic kind of strange music, but they seem very just sophisticated on there.
Yeah, I think there's only one left. I think they're touring now, but there may be only one original.
I saw them last year.
Yeah,
just the one.
Just the one, yeah. And I think they've gained some weight since then, probably. So
yeah,
they don't look like exactly like that.
It was a good show though. There was like they were all lined up.
Yeah,
with the keyboard, and then they had the big. Cool. Yeah, it was good. It was a good show.
I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim.
Okay. Well, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to... I run the risk of not anyone not knowing who these people are, but again, I just love this album, and my favorite song, again, probably doesn't mean anything to anybody, is probably Forgiven Not Forgotten. I don't know if you know these people, the Corrs.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay, cool, okay. They're huge. They're huge overseas.
In Ireland, aren't they Irish?
They are.
Yeah, it's three sisters and a brother, right?
Yeah, they're all siblings.
Yeah.
And I was living in Nova Scotia for half my life, and a lot of fiddle, a lot of like Celtic-y kind of sound, mixed in with pop rock. So that went over really well in Nova Scotia because they're all about the fiddles and that kind of music, that kitchen, the kitchen music and all that stuff. So that's kind of where I picked up on these people, and they've stuck ever since. And this is their debut record. It's a pretty strong album. If you like Celtic, if you like mixed with pop, you probably like this. It's pretty mainstream sound.
Is that the one that has Breathless, or was that off the second?
No, that's another one. I have that one too, but yeah, that's a pretty good album. That's a little more mainstream. This is more on the.
I need to get both of those because I was a fan
good.
back in the day.
Yeah. But yeah, the Corrs. I love the Corrs.
I mean, I'm a big fan of that East Coast Canadian music.
Yeah.
And, they fit together very well.
Yeah. And they always do a few instrumentals in there, like kind of lodged in. And yeah, the fiddle, I love good fiddle music. And like your friend there, she plays a mean one. Yeah.
She does. Absolutely. And
Kendall. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to go see her in, I think 3 weeks. Her and Alan are coming to Kitchener. So.
Oh, nice. On her own or with?
No, so Alan is the headliner. So she's obviously there with Alan. And then the opener, I'm excited to see. You'd probably know them from living out east, the East Pointers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I'm excited about that show. That should be good.
Oh, right on. That'll be a good show.
At my favorite venue, Center in the Square, because I've been there like 500 times. So.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So I'm excited. All right.
Cool.
Daryl.
All right. So I showed Tom Cochrane in the last one. I got another Canadian band. And this is definitely, for me, this is like driving down the highway, rock and car music. I would argue that the entire first side of this album, I don't think there's a bad song on the first side. I've shown this before. I think these guys are out of Niagara Falls. So Honeymoon Suite and Burning in Love. That Burning in Love is there's just some killer guitar on there. The drums are wonderful on there. It is pump up music at its best. New Girl Now, Burning in Love, Stay in the Light, Wave Babies. That's the whole first side, right?
I forgot how good.
There's just something about Honeymoon Suite that if you're driving down the highway with that song, that is just that's like asking to get pulled over by the OPP here in Ontario kind of music. So I couldn't do this list without talking about that song.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't heard it in such a long time. And then we had talked about the old shop teacher at my school earlier. And he used to listen to these guys all the time. I go to his house and have a couple beers, and he used to play it. And I was like, man, now I know why I like that song. And if once again, if you haven't heard Burning in Love or New Girl Now, even killer Canadian 80s rock music. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, there's a very distinct Canadian sound when it comes to 80s rock music.
Yep.
I think Honeymoon Suite kind of exemplifies what that is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I met the band last year. It was kind of amidst the winter. I was talking to Johnny D for like 10 minutes outside. We were talking and talking. And he's like, shit, it's cold. Come on inside. So I got on their bus.
No way.
And we just ended up talking for just a few more minutes. And
that's cool.
Yeah, he was a super nice guy. Like he was a cool cat. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good band. Good guys.
Love it. They're touring right now.
They're always touring.
Yeah, good point. I think it's like some anniversary tour though, I think this year. Like
okay.
40th anniversary tour or something like that. So All right. I'm going Irish too, not because Tim did, but this was just the next one in my stack. Cool. So, no secret, and we talked about this at the beginning. I'm a big U2 fan. Off of what I think probably most folks regard as their best album. Not my favorite U2 album, but it does have my favorite U2 song and one of my favorite songs of all time, and that is Where the Streets Have No Name. I remember vividly, back in the early 90s when I was getting into music and I was a huge Beatles fanatic, and I had just discovered Oasis, and I was dating a girl who was a big U2 fan. And she goes, "You just need to hear this." And she put it on, and Where the Streets Have No Name it starts at nothing, and the guitar just builds and it builds and it builds and it builds, and it kind of just explodes into the song. And I was just like, wow, what is this? Like, I was hooked on U2 from that first song. To me, it's one of the reasons why I think The Edge is an underrated guitar genius.
I thought for a second, I thought you were going to say like Bullet of Blue Sky or something like that.
I hate that song.
Okay.
Hate it. Blue sky. Nah, I can't. You know what I've said before? Like, there's a few songs I hate. I hate Yesterday by the Beatles, even though I love the Beatles. And I love the Eagles, and I hate Hotel California. I love U2, and I hate Bullet the Blue Sky. So all of my favorite bands, they all have one song that I just I just detest it, and for some reason,
and you love U2, but you hate the Zooropa album.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I think I only like it because when I was a teenager, I bought the album with my hard-earned money, as we all, you save up because CDs were like $25 then. And I bought it, and I listened to that album 100 times, trying to justify my purchase. And I just this is a great album. And no, it's really not.
I can love
it. Me when I bought Ace of Base, I tried to justify that.
Oh, really? I like the Ace of Base.
I can comfortably still call myself a U2 fan. I've seen them twice. I have every album, and out of the 20 albums they've got, there's one, maybe two that I don't like. So I'm all right with that. You don't have to love everything. So
yeah.
All right. A few comments here. Douglas is saying, Tim, since you like good fiddle, have you heard The Flock with Jerry Goodman?
No.
All right.
I'll write that down.
Something we'll have to look up. And Richard really likes the Honeymoon Suite album. So. As do I. All right. Let's go around again. Brian.
All right. I'm choosing a well-known guitarist from a punk band, Bob Mould, who used to be in Husker Du, of course, and later in Sugar. Has a long line of solo records, and from this one, a self-titled record from 1996, I'm choosing Ego Override, which is written with this funny symbol there, Ego Override. I love this song because the first time I heard it, I was thinking, that is a fantastic guitar line in the song. The sound of the guitar in the song is riveting. It's really fantastic, but it turns out it's not a guitar at all. It's a synthesized guitar sound. So it's funny to think of someone who's well-known from a punk band, kind of a guitar hero, to record a song that didn't actually have a guitar in it. It's a synthesized thing. This song is I think it's a perfect 3.5 minute pop song rock song maybe. Lyrics are fine, but for me, the sound of the song is so incredible. It's just a brilliant song, and I think everyone should hear it if you haven't heard it already. Short and sweet. It's an excellent song. Love it. Great album, by the way. That's all I'm going to say about that. Excellent.
There you go. I'm surprised Richard hasn't said anything, being such a big Bob Mould fan. So I'm sure he'll chime in. All right, Tim.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's go. Okay, here's some more stuff that not many people may talk about very much, but I think she's a fantastic songwriter. She has a stronger solo career than the band she was with. I could have pulled either. I pulled the more popular choice. Songs off this would have been my favorite. It's kind of that bridge between the 80s and the 90s, so it has a bit of kind of the two sounds kind of interweave in this album. But I guess the two songs from this would either be J for Jules or Why Must I, but that would be Till Tuesday and Amy Mann. I know she doesn't get much love, but love me, Amy Mann. She's the one that did Voices Carry and Love in a Vacuum and all that stuff. Her solo career is pretty, like I love her solo stuff too. I could have pulled that, but I went the popular choice. This is the album after the big one, but this is really, really great. And it does get a lot of airplay. It's just one that kind of you don't really hear by name. Like if you heard the songs, you'd be like, oh yeah. But like Long Gone Buddy, Limits to Love, people might know. But Jay Believed You Were Lucky. Yeah, I know it's one of those albums again you just have to listen to. But yeah, two favorite songs that get heavy airplay are probably J for Jules or Why Must I. Got that 80s 90s blend to them. Very catchy.
Very good. Good night, Trevor. Thanks for joining us, my friend. We'll see you down the road.
See you later.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone show that before, so I'm glad somebody did because it's great stuff. I don't have any of it, but I should have some.
Till Tuesday, like it was Till Tuesday was a very short-lived band, but Amy Mann herself was incredible songwriter, and her solo stuff is quite strong. But again, Amy Mann, who the hell is Amy Mann? But when you bring up Till Tuesday, it's like, oh yeah.
I actually probably know more of her solo stuff than I do the Till Tuesday stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I just don't own any because I can order it, but I'm like, if I see it in a record store, I'll buy it. But I just haven't come across it. Douglas wants to know, Tim, what's your favorite song off Sparks' album Mad?
Matter, because they came out with two, and Matter is actually it's like does he know of Matter?
I don't know,
but. I don't know, Matt. There's some good ones. There's Jansport Backpack's fun. What's the one with the anthem sounding one? I like that one too. You might know what I'm talking about.
He just wants to know about that.
There's like an anthem sounding one. I like that one a lot. Or Jansport Backpack's good too. I like that one. I saw them live last year, and the songs are really, really good. They said they're better live. Like I had more appreciation for the album after hearing them live.
All right, Daryl.
Okay, so Rob, for your last pick, you chose U2. Just ironically happens that U2 was my next one. I did not go with the Joshua Tree, although With or Without You is probably my favorite song on the Joshua Tree album.
Great song.
But I'm going with the Unforgettable Fire album, and by a long shot, Pride in the Name of Love is my favorite U2 song.
Excellent.
So you talked about the slow build-up for Where the Streets Have No Name. That one's not a slow build-up. It kicks in with that guitar right off the bat and the snare drum and all that. It is just a crazy, crazy song. The only thing, and I wish I had never found out about the error in the date that he talks about in the song. I wish I had never found that out, because every time I hear him sing it in the song now, I'm like, you fucked it up. But I just love it. Like just the whole history behind it, the whole Martin Luther King thing and all that. I love the drums on that. Like I know that some people say, oh, he's a kind of like what's his name in Lars, and is it Lars that plays drums for Metallica? I can never remember. Anyway, they say that he's like simplistic, but there is nothing simplistic about the drums in this song. It's really good stuff. And after Achtung Baby and Zooropa, I haven't really listened to much U2 since then. I think the problem for me is that once they started to do like the whole disco tech and all that, I couldn't get into that era of U2. And so I've never listened to their newer stuff. I really got to start listening to it.
Well, but the thing is, bear in mind, that's one album. So the album after, so you've got Pop, which has discotheque on it, but then you go into
Atomic Bomb or whatever.
No, it's the one where they're in the airport in Paris. The Things We Left Behind. That's what it's called.
Because the other song that I don't like by them is "Beautiful Day." I don't know what it is. It was so overplayed. I can't stand that song.
It is. But that album, which is the album after Pop, is really good. There's some really strong songs in there. And then you go into Atomic Bomb, which is great. Then you go into No Line on the Horizon, which is great. Yes, thank you. All That You Can't Leave Behind. It was on the tip of my tongue. Those albums are so different from Pop. Like that, their disco era literally is one album. So
I think that's what happened to me is that Zooropa followed by some of those other ones. It just and it was my first couple years of university. I just wasn't into it.
So
I never came back to them.
So this is what you do. Because you don't like the song Beautiful Day, skip All That You Can't Leave Behind and just go to How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. Yeah, you're good from there. It's they're all pretty solid albums. So
yeah.
Okay, my turn. Okay, I don't think I've shown any Canadian content tonight, which for me is strange. So, not Blue Rodeo, but the band. Not my favorite album by the band, but what I think is maybe one of the best Canadian songs ever, and that's The Wait.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that song is anthemic, not in the way that you stand up and but anthemic in that it's so sort of culturally relevant, and there's not a Canadian band that hasn't done that song at some point in time live, whether it's The Hip or Blue Rodeo or hell, I've even seen Bryan Adams do it. Like, it's just such a song that is revered by just about every musician in Canada. Just an incredible song from music from Big Pink. Again, not my favorite band album because there's a little too much Dylan influence on this record, but The Wait is just an absolute masterpiece.
So pardon my ignorance, but because I do listen to the band, but I thought that Wait was on the band album.
Nope. It is right there. Closes out side one, The Wait.
But isn't it on?
Nope.
It's not on that album?
Nope.
Oh.
I'll get the brown album. I got it right here. Talk amongst yourselves for about a moment.
I thought for sure it was on that album.
Nope. You're talking this album here.
Yeah. It's not on that?
It is not. Across the Great Divide, Rag Mama Rag, The Night That Drove Old Dixie Down, When You Awake, Up on Cripple Creek, Whispering Pines, and side two is Jemima Surrender, Rocking Chair, Lookout Cleveland, Jawbone, Unfaithful Servant, and King Harvest.
Okay.
So this is my favorite album by the band.
Yeah. I just for some reason thought it was on that album.
Nope. It's off the first one.
It would have fit in on that album though.
It absolutely would have fit in that album.
Yeah.
Douglas is saying Chest Fever is a good song by the band, and Three Dog Night did that song on their first. I didn't know Three Dog Night did that. Interesting. Yeah, I like Chest Fever. Great song. The band is one of those. They have very few songs that I go, I don't like. I love all of it. Even the songs that are, really deep cuts. I just think they're phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's just me. All right, let's go one more round. We'll kind of do a speed round because we're getting a little long on the tooth. So, show as many as you want to show, Brian.
As many as you want to show.
Well, don't show your whole collection because it's fairly significant.
All right, so maybe just 2 or 3, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
From Billy Bragg's 1991 album, Don't Try This at Home, I've chosen Cindy of a Thousand Lives, which is a track about American photographer named Cindy Sherman, who was a really interesting photographer. Anyway, the great thing about that song is it's probably the most atmospheric Billy Bragg song. It's probably the least Billy Bragg sounding song in his catalog. It features Johnny Marr on guitar from the Smiths and Kirsty MacColl on backing vocals. Absolutely phenomenal song that I've always loved. This is what happens when you take sort of a goth or gothic-like band and combine it with maybe new wave. Killing Joke. I've chosen Love Like Blood, which is this anthemic song about something, I'm not sure what, survival maybe, but I think Jazz Coleman called it the distillation of everything we hold dear, or something like that. Really interesting song. I love that song. It's probably the best song of 1985. Maybe just a couple more, maybe. I've chosen from the. Now, everyone's going to think I've chosen Perfect, which I haven't. I've chosen the track Giant, which has always been a favorite of mine. 9.5 minutes of really impressive, I don't know, it's synth in a way, but then halfway through, this drumming comes in, which I find really infectious. And then this chanting follows. I think it's an underrated song. I think their best song. And I don't know what else to say about it, except I find it really, it's one of those songs where when it's on, you don't want any distraction. You just want to listen to the whole 9.5 minutes without being distracted. Should I show one more?
Sure.
Okay. In my opinion, maybe the most overlooked song of the 80s, if I can find it. Yeah, maybe the most overlooked song of the 80s is from this weird band called Furniture. This is their album, The Wrong People. And there's a song on here called Brilliant Mind, which is brilliant. The only problem with this particular version is the album version is only around 4 minutes, whereas the extended mix is over 7 minutes. Now, that is the version you want to hear. Really interesting, atmospheric track that has kind of a slow build to it that I absolutely love. I don't know what happened. Why did these people not get more attention? I think this album is terrific, and I think Brilliant Mind has long been a favorite of mine. A best song of 86, maybe, if I can be so bold as to say that. Really great album. Brilliant Mind. Okay, someone else take over.
All right. Tim.
All right. Let's go, let's see a couple here. Listen to Brothers in Arms a lot. That particular track, Brothers in Arms, for the guitar solo at the end.
Yeah.
Very sloppily bluesy song that closes out this album. Super song. Throw in some Billy Joel. Summer Highland Falls. Love that album. The piano. Picked the wrong album. Oops, wrong one, but still great. Jewel. I love Jewel once in a while. I binge into her once in a while. Who was Save Your Soul? I was going to go for the second album I like a little bit better. This is a little more mellow and stuff, but she's great. Listen to her quite a bit. And these guys, I play this album into the ground. My Golden Years is probably the song I like most from this. They have an interesting sound. They're kind of like these two 20-year-olds. I think they're brothers that are trapped in the 60s.
Yes.
They have a very 60s sound. And this is a very Beach Boys-y.
If Sam was here, he'd be losing his mind because he's a big
they're actually coming. I'm going to see these guys in a couple months.
Cool.
Again, they're awesome. But yeah, this album gets worn out. My Golden Years. So that's a newer one rather than an older one. My collection tends to be doesn't have a lot of new stuff in it, so I'll throw in some new stuff when I can.
Ah. All right. And then Daryl just disappeared. It's his turn, and he turns off his camera, and he's like, "Screw it."
It actually said the browser lost connection to your camera, so I had to fiddle around and get it on.
All right.
I wanted to throw in some Tears for Fears, but I couldn't find it. Love Tears for Fears.
Hey, Rich, how
I'll
you
do
doing?
a little speed round here. So Poco Legacy. I know that not too many people talk about Poco because of their country rock stuff, but there's a song on here called "Call It Love." Once again, it's kind of like Tim was saying. We talked about guitar solos. There's a really good guitar solo on that song, and this also has one of their other mainstream hits, "Nothing to Hide." My dad used to play that when I was a kid, lots. Couldn't do this without talking about my buddy Gino Vanelli. "Wild Horses" is by far my favorite Vanelli song, though this is my least favorite Vanelli album. My favorite one is "Storm at Sunup," which actually has 0 singles on it, so it's kind of funny that way.
Is that
Alice in Chains? This is the Jar of Flies EP. Hands down, "Don't Follow" is my favorite track off of here. Acoustic with harmonica and stuff. It's you can kind of tell in that song that Lane was kind of struggling with his health and his heroin addiction, but this is a really good. If you haven't heard this EP, really good. Canadian band Harem Scarum. I was listening to this earlier. I bought this year for Record Store Day Canada. There's a song on here called Honestly, which is kind of like one of those early 90s hair metal ballads, I guess you would call it, but I like it nonetheless. And I think I got 2 or 3 more here. Yeah, 3 more. Bruce Hornsby on the Range. When I was doing my rating videos there where I did all 3 albums, this is my least favorite album, but it's kind of like that other one I just showed. Across the River is a great song. You know, early in the show, I talked about songs that remind me of my childhood in a small town. That would be one of them. Bon Jovi, In These Arms, definitely my favorite Bon Jovi song. There's something about that guitar and the slow build up at the very beginning, very much like that U2 thing. That's a great track. And then last but not least, we'll go to Wales. Donna Lewis, she's the one that did that song, I Love You Always Forever, but there's a song on here called Nothing Ever Changes, and it's a really good track. Mellow, you know, typical 90s, not dance, but following up a dance track with that slow, mellow stuff. Yeah, so I showed a whole mix of stuff from metal to country to 90s dance. There we go.
Well done. Well done. All right. I'll bring this home with a few more of my favorite songs quickly. We talk about The Boss. I got to talk about Open All Night from Nebraska. I've told the story before that I had not heard this album. No, Rich, there's no Blue Rodeo tonight, I promise. When I wasn't a Springsteen fan, and I heard this album in a record store, I went, holy shit, what's that? And it was the song Open All Night, which just, I mean, it's a basic 12-bar blues kind of rock song, but I was just like, whoa, you know, it was kind of an aha moment. Love Sheryl Crow, the song Run Baby Run, which opens this album. First time I heard it, I'm like, yeah, I'm a fan. I don't care what the rest sounds like, I'm a fan. So kind of a deeper cut for her, but Run Baby Run.
I think that was featured on that movie Grosse Pointe Blank, I think. It was on
I don't know that I've ever seen it.
So.
I know the movie, but I don't think I've ever seen it. So great rock band from Texas called the Old 97s from their album Too Far to Care, which came out in 1997. The second song I've heard is a song called Barrier Reef, which is just a fun up-tempo rock song about the lead singer kind of sings it about himself, about a cocky guy in a bar, and his cheeseball pickup lines don't quite land the way that he wants them to. And we'll close it out with What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis. No, it's not Wonderwall. It is the song Don't Look Back in Anger. Always love that song. This is the anniversary edition. That's why you don't see the people on the cover. It's the Super Deluxe. Man, when they got back together and you watch any of the concert highlights from that tour, I think the most poignant moment is them doing that song, and multiple generations of people just singing that song in unison was just moving, would be the way that I would describe it. Absolutely wonderful. That album changed my life. So there we go. We did it in 1 hour and 59 minutes. We talked about most of the songs that are some of our favorite songs. So that was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys. That was good.
That was fun.
Yeah.
We'll do what we always do. Anything you want to promote? What's going on your channel, Brian? Any new videos you want to talk about? Or
I think I posted a video yesterday. I haven't done that many recently because I've been, kind of busy with work and whatnot. But yeah, one yesterday. Can't remember what it was. I don't know if I'll have another one this week. We'll see. But it's day by day right now. But maybe another one coming up soon. We'll see. So not much to tell you.
All right. What about you, Daryl?
Kind of the same line as Brian. I haven't put out a video in forever. I would like to finished my soundtrack one that I had started. I got to do the next segment, I think, in 2 portions. It's going to be too long if I do it all at once. There was another video, Mark from Twanger's Turntable. He did my stereotypes video a couple days ago. That was really good.
It was good.
And so I think that there's 15 of them that were done now. So that's kind of cool.
That's good.
But life has just been busy. March break is in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to be going out for another hockey tournament. The dollars are adding up, but it is what it is. And I'm DJing a high school dance in 2 days. So that'll be fun.
Ooh. Are you going to make
the So I was going to say, with vinyl or with streaming or with MP3s?
That would be so funny if I brought vinyl with me. The kids would love that, but I got nothing from their generation except Taylor Swift. That's the only one I would have. Oh, and K-pop Demon Hunters.
Are you going to make them listen to some Glass Tiger?
I could.
I think you should throw one on just to see what happens.
I actually do this game with the kids where they get these sheets of paper. We cut them out for the kids, and I play like 10-second clips of songs from famous movies, and the kids fill them out, and if they hand them in, they can win a prize at the end if they get them all right, kind of thing. It's pretty funny. Cool. Every time I do Lose Yourself, 8 Mile, the kids always want me to keep playing it, and I have to try to make sure that I find the not explicit version of the song.
Just play the Weird Al.
That would be
the Weird Al.
Punk them with the Weird Al one.
I like this suggestion. Throw some Ice Baby in the mix. Yeah. Absolutely. Tim, you don't have a channel, right?
Not yet. One of these days, probably. Yeah.
One of these days you might. But you're going to be back with us next week, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's you're going to get used to seeing Daryl and Tim and myself on a weekly basis. So maybe if we just keep prodding Tim every week, maybe he'll start making a channel and tell some of these incredible stories about some of these incredible albums he's had signed or not signed by jerks like, Mr. Wallflowers.
Oh, yeah.
There's
a few of them, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, guess who's coming back around again?
Who?
Christopher.
Oh.
There you go. There you go. As for myself, I haven't put out a video in a couple of weeks, but Sam's probably not still watching. I have my response to his Americana tag ready. I have the albums pulled. I'll probably shoot it on Friday night, and hopefully it'll be up on Sunday morning. So that'll be the next video that comes down the pipeline. So there we have it. That's it. That's all. To everyone that joined us tonight, thank you for watching. We love chatting with you every week. And for those that are going to watch it later, thanks for spending a couple hours with us. For Tim and Daryl and myself, we'll be back next week. Thank you, Brian, for being a guest. Always a pleasure to have you on, man. We'll do it again real soon.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night, and we will see you next week.